everybody, it's Stacy from Art Journal Life. I'm just getting us set in the cradle. Okay, and I'm gonna hope that I can find us live here. And I've got us, so I can watch the comments. Yay. Okay, here we are. Today we're gonna do something totally different, and I don't think I've even ever played with this before on my channel at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk inks. Now, I'm no ink expert, so we're playing. That's all we're doing. So I have a few colors of inks. I have a lot of my supplies here. This is a color shaper. I think they use these for also ceramics maybe. I'm not sure. So I have a few. I have little tiny ones, some round ones, a super tiny one, flat, different shapes, different sizes. So those are silicone. I have a few brushes. So this one's a super hard kind of plastic. Let's see if it tells me what it is. It's a scrubber brush. Oh, so that makes sense because that's exactly what this feels like, right? It's hard and you can scrub with it. I'm also going to talk a little bit about brushes, like what you want to do and how you want to hold them. So, okay, there's that. Then I have some coffee stirrers and a stick. What do you call these? A skewer, I guess. I have this little short brush, which I'm not sure I'm going to use, but I'll put it up there. A sponge. And actually I have a couple of these foam brushes. This one's kind of spent, but we're going to try this one. So that's what I have with me for brushes. I brought my journal that has cold pressed watercolor paper, so it's a little nubby. We're going to use this. I thought I found a blank page I wanted to use, but I think I want something like this. So we're going to use this. And then I have all these colors. So this is a De La Roni FW. This is turquoise. This is the same in olive green. The same in rose fluorescent. You have to shake these. These need to be shaken before you use them. I have the Ecoline. This is actually liquid watercolor in white. And then I have the De La Roni Paynes Gray, which I actually have in this fine liner applicator I put in here. It comes out a little fast. So, and then I have these two by Dr. Martens. Bombay Black India ink, and this is waterproof India ink Black Star. So we're just going to swatch a little on both of these journals. This is a mixed media journal. And we're going to play with these. Hi, Estella. We're going to play with these just to see. I have never done much with inks. I have inks. I've used them as splatter before, but I haven't done a lot with them. I also have, I wanted to use this brush. I think I have a finer line one, but this is, ooh, well, unfortunately, this is in Japanese, I believe. So I can't tell you what this is. But I have this brush, which is a brush tip. And it's, I'm pretty sure it's permanent. And I love the potential here, right, of what this is. So it's not perfect. I mean, it skips. This is the very textured watercolor, cold press watercolor paper. So this is a moleskin. But again, this is ink also, so I thought we could play with that. And I love this kind of thing, so I'm all about this. Okay, so let's just dive right in. This is the fine tip applicator, fine line applicator. Does it have a name on it? It says made in the USA. I don't remember. So you can wash these out. It has this little tip that you can insert into the very fine tip so it doesn't clog. Now, yeah, there you go. And then you can secure it like this. So to me, it should write very fine, but as I recall, let's move this over here. Oh, it does write pretty fine. If you squeeze it, it makes these blobbies here. Now this is, no, not that one. The Paynes gray that I had, wherever I put that. So this is the Paynes gray in here that I have in here. Oh, this is the Paynes gray. So it's the Daler-Rowney acrylic ink. So it is acrylic ink. So I don't really know what that means. We won't know until it dries. I'm pretty sure it's permanent. And I'll just say this, I don't hate when they run. So I wanted to color swatch these other colors. So let's just do that. Let's pick something. Do I want to use my scrubber brush? Or do I want to pick this so we could see what the color is? So this is the Paynes gray. It looks pretty dark to me. Probably if we added a little water to it, you would see that it's a little more bluish. Now they all have this sort of dropper bottle, which I've never really, I don't know why. I love the look of ink on my paper, so I love the way this ink looks. Now this is going to be different than the India ink. The India ink is definitely permanent and very dark. So there's two different kinds. This is Bombay Black India ink, and this is Black Star. I bet you we can't even tell the difference in these, to be honest. Maybe when they dry. If anybody has any information, hi April. If anybody has information they want to share in the comments, since I'm ink deficient, since my experience is happening right here in front of us, except for these pens, which I love, by the way, let me know. But I think I'm going to start with, so here's some. So now, are these going to be difficult to open? Who knows? So here's the white. Now this is actually watercolor, this white. And we're not going to probably see it on there. But to me, if this is watercolor, then I should be able to add water to it. Oh, love that. Wow. There we go. This was still wet and it bled so quick. That might be worth a slow motion at some point. All right, I'm just going to put the water over here. I mean, the watercolor white over here. And I'm going to wash my brush off in my water. So there's no black or little or no black. I'm going to take a towel, just dab it off. So this is more like using a watercolor. So you can make it wet. I wonder if if you wet it again, if it runs like watercolors do. I don't know. But let's try these other colors over here. Okay. So I was going to say I should start with the latest one, but well, I'm not sure what that would be. So let's pick the pink, the hot pink. This is fluorescent rose, actually. I can't determine if the... Oh, so I would be right. The stopper is clogged. Now this is an acrylic ink. And I touched the black here, but that's okay. That gives us an idea of how they're going to work together. I feel like I want a little more ink on here to see how this is going to behave. And maybe I'm going to use another brush. So let's try one of these color shapers because I think that's kind of cool. So that's just moving it around, different than a brush, as you can see. So I'm going to wipe this off. And I am going to get a brush. And so this was my scrubber brush. Let's see, did I bring like a... I don't want that one either. So I just wet this one a little bit just so it's wet. And I'm kind of just swatching it. So it's translucent, pretty much. You probably could leave it thicker on the paper. Let's do that so we can see how it is when it dries. Here. Okay. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to try, I can't decide which one I think is, now this is the turquoise, the FW turquoise. I'm going to run my brush into this and see how, now this is on the watercolor paper. Kind of like that. This here is the mixed media paper. So let's see. Ooh, I like the way it goes on there. And it is translucent. You can see the black through the pigment. So that's interesting and cool. I'm going to wash this off again and we're going to put some pink up here so we can see how it behaves on this paper. I'm not sure that, you know, sometimes like watercolors, it really matters with watercolors what kind of paper you use. You know, sometimes the mixed media paper isn't really the best. So this is very translucent again and thin. I did wet the brush, so there's that. I kind of like the way it's behaving on here, I think. This is super thin. I'm hoping I'm on screen. You guys, I'm going to go back to regular old horizontal live video. I'm not quite sure when that's going to happen. A week or two, I would say. Just regular old. Oh, and I like this a lot. This is granulating on me. Now, is it because my brush is wet? I don't know. But I love that. So let's see how this looks over here. again, translucent. Let's try it on this. This is the mixed media paper, again, translucent. So I don't hate any of this, but let's see what happens with the color shaper. I think they would all behave the same, so you could use the color shaper, drag it through there, maybe. I wanted to play with the skewer because the skewer is pointed. So I'm going to dip it in. I do like that. I like the imperfection of this, the forced imperfection. Yeah. Yep. Love it. Love that. Okay. So let's try. I thought maybe I'd use the scrubber brush. And I have a lot of blue on here, so. Or turquoise. Let's pick some of that up and see. Now this is not as translucent, you can see. Now here my brush maybe was a little wet. But straight from the bottle, well, it still is, but not as much as if you added water to it. So these are all fun things. Now the thing about the inks is they also drip. So let's see if we can get this to drip. So I'm just gonna dip it in here. I made my brush wet. That doesn't show up as well, but we're gonna try also the dripping. I like the dripping effect. Now this is the, so we already have this here. So this ink was very matte. And this one looks like it's going to be pretty matte too. So that was, the first one was the Bombay Black, which is this one. And this one is the Black Star. And it does say matte on it, but this one doesn't say matte, but it looks pretty matte, both of them, if you ask me. So this is our little demo here today. And what do you want to use the white for? Well, the white, again, this is watercolor as opposed to ink. You do have to shake these. Did I say that? This feels a little clogged too. So the option that I like here is that this could, you know, this is opaque, pretty much. So you could bring your paper back, oh, and the ink was still wet, so it's coming through. But essentially that's pretty opaque, and I kind of love that. So I bring these all up because I am making that art piece for my house. And I'm going to play with a lot of different things here. So I'm going to use inks. I'm going to use the acrylic paints that we've been playing with. Excuse me. I'm going to use the watercolors. I want to think about using ink pens underneath things. I have one that's very fine also. So some of these things I'll just use in the background, and some of these as mark making tools. Excuse me. So this is why I'm playing with all these different mediums, and we're experimenting with them. I basically wanted to see how they would behave. Now this was one of my color choices. This turquoise. This is a little more greenish turquoise than this one. So I'm going to turn it here. So here's the ones that I like. This is a little, so this has a little more yellow in it, and this doesn't. I'm leaning towards that one. I don't like this violet necessarily with the color palette. So these are the colors that I think I've chosen so far. So let me look and see if I can show you where our paint went. Did I do it? Oh, maybe I didn't do it in this one. I thought it was in this book. Was it in this? No, I don't think it was in this one either. So we had pulled the golden colors. So one of them was quinacridone, nickel azo gold. So I had pulled some of those colors the other day. I'll have to find where the color chart went. But those are the colors that I'm leaning towards. And so now I just press these two pages together because they're not dry. But I mean, this is what this book is for, right? It's for experimenting. So I wanted to see how the inks behaved on the watercolor paper and on the mixed media paper. I am going to use watercolor paper for my piece that I'm going to make. I already know that. I have that already, so that's why I chose that. That's going to drive me crazy because I don't know what I did with the... Was it here? No, was it in this one either? I have no idea where that page went with the color chart on it. Well, we'll have to play with that again some more, or I'll bring that color chart out so you can see the color, so that you can see the color story, the color group that I want. Oh, here. No, that's the watercolor one. Oh, here. So this is the acrylic. So this is quinacridone magenta. I don't remember what color this is, but this was the turquoise phthalo, and this was the nickel azo gold, and this one was Indian yellow. So those are the colors I'm leaning towards. I kind of like this khaki color here, which this is a little more greeny yellow. I might go in this direction. I'm not sure. So, but this would be more of the color palette that I thought that I was going to go with, except for this one. So, there we go. I loved what happened here with these two colors. I love this mid-tone. They mixed together in this little color in here that I got. So this was deep pink according to what they call the color. It's a Viviva color and it's deep pink. And this, I don't remember what they called this one, but I liked this mid-range color here, this orangey pink, salmony color. So I'm heading in that direction. Let's just cover this one up. So these are the colors that I'm gravitating towards. So we'll see as I progress where I'm going. So I'm looking for things that are, because it's a mixed media piece, I want to use mixed media. right? I want to use multiple things. So I want to use inks. I want to use acrylic paints. I want to use colored pencils. I want to use water-soluble pencils, you know, all kinds of things. So that's the point to the mixed media piece. So I want there to be harmony in the color palette and yet layers. I'm looking for layers, and I am going to use some of the things that we made yesterday or the day before, Monday, on the jelly plate. So I am looking to use things like this in the work as collage. So these are the things we made the other day. So all of these, I want to kind of create this harmonious color palette and be able to use these things in whatever I make. So that's what I'm doing here. So this is what all this experimenting is about. So this is the ink layer. However that's going to work out, we're going to see. Hi, Stacy. Use all the art supplies. That's what I want to do. I'm using all the art supplies. Oh, she said yes, Stacy. Thank you, Estella. That's my plan. So I want a layer. I want this depth of field. I plan on I used this power wax a couple weeks ago. I plan on using this water-based cold wax to create some of the depth in my work and some texture. So I'm really going to meld all of this together to make this cohesive piece, I hope. And I wanted to take you along on the journey so that if you ever had the desire to make a big piece of art, you could. And it's basically the same thing we're doing in our art journals. It's no different than anything we've done in our art journals all along. It's just on a bigger piece of paper. It's just being a little braver maybe, or a little risky, you know, taking a risk, taking a chance, making something larger so that you can use it in your artwork. So this is another piece that I really wanted to take inspiration from. This was a circle inspiration that I actually did videos on the channel that I created this round idea from. And if I recall, I used my non-dominant hand in drawing this. Probably not for coloring it. But again, these are all things, ideas that I'm going to take out of my journals and look at when I want to use mark making and things like that in my piece of art. This is with Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2s. So those are the things I'm looking for. Mark making. We're going to add all kinds of stuff. Collage. We're going to throw everything at it. So there you have it. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow afternoon. And my plan was to do another layer with the jelly plate. So I wanted to play more with the jelly plate and see what I was going to pull off of that. So that's just another layer to add. I'm going to let these dry until tomorrow. It ended up, I made quite a mess on here, but if you can't do it now, then when can you do it, you know? Okay, thank you for being here, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye, everyone.